You are looking live.
Here comes the play. Goodman at the free throw line. Jumper.
He broke his ankles. He is Houdini.
Mickey Mantle don't care about you, so why should you care about him? Nobody cares.
That's not a new call. No.
You don't like that call.
I don't like that call.
Woo, 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 woo. Not so fast.
Lamar Jackson has destroyed about every narrative that you could have thrown against him in the first 5 weeks of the season. And if the first 4 weeks of the season did not make you throw out the Lamar Jackson narratives that have been kind of hanging over Lamar Jackson in the past, 3 years, week 5 should really have opened your eyes. We can throw out, for sure, after today, and I said this on In the Zone on Wednesday, we can throw out 2 main narratives on Lamar Jackson. A, he's only in the league due to his running, or he can't win games throwing the ball. You can throw that out successfully. You can safely toss that one in the garbage. He is top 5 in passing yards with just over 1,500 yards in the league this season. He had 442 passing yards in the Week 5 comeback against the Colts. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. And those 442 passing yards are the most single-game passing yards in Ravens history. More than Joe Flacco ever had, more than Trent Dilfer ever had, more than anybody in Ravens franchise history ever had in a single game. You may say, okay, how many rushing yards did he have? He only had 62 rushing yards against the Colts. He is 8th in rushing yards this season, but he leads all quarterbacks. And you might say, well, okay, he's still running the ball a lot. Yes, he is. But you know what? It is a balanced attack from his arm and his leg. It is not 90% of his yards come from his legs, and he throws about 100 yards every game. It is a very balanced attack from Lamar Jackson, from both his arm and his legs. Jackson also led the team to one of the most improbable comebacks in Ravens history. And that kind of segues into the next point that I think we can really toss in the can. The next narrative we can toss in the can on Lamar Jackson. The second one, Jackson cannot lead the team back from a 10-plus point deficit. That is absurd. I touched on this a little bit a few seconds ago. Again, he led the team to a 19-point comeback against the Colts. And he did it with his arm, not his legs. And again, I understand that the Colts are a 1-4 team, and that this season they've needed a miraculous comeback to beat some mediocre to bad teams. I understand that. But the point is that no matter what the deficit is, Lamar Jackson puts the team on his back and has led the team to a win. I don't know if he can really do that against teams like the Chargers, Bills, Who else is up there? Packers, Cardinals, those kind of teams, the really elite teams. Sure, the Ravens are 4-1. They are not in the same conversation with the Bills, Chargers, and Cardinals just yet. Their defense needs work. I fully recognize that. But this is solely Lamar Jackson. The Ravens right now are probably 1-4 or 0-5. I don't know. They're 1-4 because they win that Denver game with whoever quarterback they have. Without Lamar Jackson, the Ravens flip their 4-1 record. Without Lamar Jackson, they're 1-4. End of story. They don't win the Chiefs game. They don't win the Lions game, and they don't win the Monday Night Football game, and they already lost the Raiders game. They're 1-4 without Lamar Jackson. So before you say that Lamar Jackson doesn't really do much for the Ravens, and he's just, not that great of a weapon, no. Lamar Jackson needs to get more respect. He needs to be in the MVP conversation this year. I saw a poll that he was 6th. I was like, you got to be kidding me. No quarterback in the league this year has done what Lamar Jackson has done, putting the team on his back and leading them to some of the most improbable comebacks I've ever seen. 2020 wildcard at Tennessee. The Ravens were down 10-0. They came back and won that one. Week 2 versus Kansas City. They were down by 11 points, not once, but twice in the game. 28-17 and then 35-24. They came back and won that game, and then the 19-point comeback against the Colts. And that game against the Colts, again, it doesn't matter whether the Colts were 1-4, 2-3, 4-1, or 5-0. That doesn't matter. The fact that he took a team that hadn't got a touchdown yet, they were down 19 points at home. He took that. I mean, the Ravens looked awful on offense and defense, and all of a sudden he just like flipped a switch and said, "Oh no, 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 we're going to win this game." And he came back, and again led the Ravens back to one of the most remarkable comebacks in Ravens history, doing so by throwing for the most passing yards in a single game in Ravens history. So I don't want to hear any more Lamar Jackson running back takes. I don't want to hear any more Lamar Jackson is nothing more than a glorified running back. I don't want to hear Lamar Jackson can't make it as a quarterback in the league. I don't want to hear any of that anymore. Because if you say that, you haven't watched football this year. You haven't watched football from about halfway through last season to now. Because anybody who watches football can look at Lamar Jackson and say, "Wow, his passing has gotten remarkably better. He's not just a running quarterback anymore." Again, sure, his legs are a huge weapon, but it's not. The Ravens do not rely on that. The Ravens do not rely on Lamar Jackson's legs.